All right, so you know how like when you're prepped for a landscaping interview and your resume's all good, but you're still kind of nervous?
Oh, yeah, totally been there.
Yeah, so like what if you could peek at the test beforehand? That's kind of what we're doing today, diving deep into those typical landscape interview questions.
Yeah.
So you can totally nail that next job.
And you know what's really interesting? Research actually shows that knowing the questions beforehand helps you do better. It's not about like memorizing answers, but getting the thinking behind them. So you're less stressed and more you.
Okay, so less stress,
Hmm.
more me. I like that. So we've got this great article from Level Green Landscaping. It's called 20 Landscape Interview Questions You'll Likely Be Asked, but we're not just going to list them. We're giving you the why behind them so you
Oh.
can really impress those interviewers.
Yeah, it's like we're decoding the interview game. Because landscaping's not just knowing plants, it's showing you can handle the tough stuff. Lead a crew, solve problems on the fly.
Okay, so like real-world skills.
Yeah.
So first things first, the article starts with general prep advice, kind of like the foundation you'd lay before starting a landscaping project.
Exactly. And that first tip is super important. Interviews are a two-way street. It's not just them checking you out, you're also seeing if they're a good fit for you.
But isn't that kind of obvious?
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously want a job I'll actually like.
True, but sometimes we get so caught up in impressing them that we forget to assess the company. Before you even apply, really dig into their website, look at the About Us and Careers sections, check out their LinkedIn and any recent news articles about them.
Okay, so it's like being genuinely interested, but also kind of doing some recon at the same time.
Exactly. Do their projects excite you? Does their company culture seem like a place where you do well?
Mm.
This research helps you fine-tune your answers later.
Ooh, sneaky. Now, the article gets into questions for different positions,
Hmm.
like crew member, crew leader, all the way up to manager smart, right?
Totally. Notice how some questions show up for multiple job types. That's a huge hint. It means those qualities are super important no matter what role you're going for.
So it's like the landscaping version of knowing how to ID a maple tree. Gotta know it. Cold. Give me an example.
Sure. So questions about handling conflicts, dealing with mistakes, showing leadership, they come up everywhere,
Hmm.
which tells you landscaping companies really value accountability, problem solving, and genuine passion for the field.
So it's not just what you've done, but how you think, how you handle the rough patches. Because landscaping's not always sunshine and roses, right?
Right. Let's start with the questions aimed at aspiring crew members. These are the folks starting out eager to get their hands dirty, literally.
Perfect, because those are the jobs I'm most likely going for right now. So hit me with it.
All right, first up, what type of equipment have you used? Seems simple, but there's a way to really make your answer stand out.
Ooh, do tell. All about leveling up my answers.
Instead of just listing tools, mention specific brands. Saying something like, I'm comfortable with both Toro and still mowers shows you're up to date on industry standards.
Whoa, that's sneaky. Showing off your knowledge without bragging. I like it. What's next?
Next is, do you have your own transportation? It may seem basic, but reliability is huge in this industry.
Makes sense. Got to get to those job sites, rain or shine.
Exactly. And speaking of rain or shine, they might ask, are you willing and able to work in all weather conditions?
Okay, that one seems kind of obvious. Of course I am.
Hmm.
But how do I make my answer stand out? Everyone's going to say yes.
Instead of just a flat yes, share your enthusiasm. Maybe say something like, I actually enjoy the challenge of working in different conditions. It keeps things interesting. Plus, good gear makes all the difference.
Ooh, like that time we were planting those shrubs in that crazy downpour. Totally learned the importance of waterproof boots.
Okay, so enthusiasm and a bit of personal experience.
Exactly. Now here comes a tougher one.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a conflict with a supervisor? How was it resolved? Everyone hates this question. Ugh. Yeah, I can feel my palms getting sweaty just thinking about it. Do you just pretend it never happened?
Definitely not. Honesty is key. But here's the thing. Interviewers in landscaping are looking for people who can handle the tough stuff, like crew arguments or client issues. So honesty plus focusing on the resolution shows you're the right kind of tough.
Okay, so instead of focusing on the negative, I highlight how I approach the situation maturely. Listen to the other person's perspective
Mm.
and work toward a solution.
Exactly. And if you learn something valuable from that experience, mention it. Growth is a big plus.
Never thought about it that way. But it makes sense. Shows I can learn from tough situations, which is important for any job, really.
Right? No, those were all crew member questions, ready to step up to crew leader. The questions get a little more demanding.
Bring it on. I'm feeling confident after those crew member tips.
All right, one common question for leaders is, tell me about your leadership style. What makes you good at directing others? This one can't be answered with just a simple phrase.
Yeah, feels like you need some real-life examples.
You got it. And not just any examples. Tie them to successful outcomes. For instance, instead of saying, I'm a collaborative leader, try something like, I believe in getting everyone's input, making sure everyone feels valued. In my last role, this helped us finish a huge project ahead of schedule and under budget.
Wow, that's powerful. It's not just talk. It's
Oh,
proof you can get stuff done.
right? Another classic question is, why do you want to work for us? This is where your research pays off.
But isn't it obvious? I mean, they're offering a job.
Yeah, but everyone says that. To stand out, go beyond pay and benefits, think about their marketing. Do they talk about big projects, eco-friendly practices, or community involvement? Use that in your answer.
Okay, so if they're all about sustainability and I've got experience with organic landscaping, that's my chance to shine. Show them I'm not just looking for a job. I'm looking for their job.
Exactly. Passion and alignment are huge.
Yeah.
Now for the question everyone dreads. What is your greatest weakness?
Ugh, this will make me freeze up.
Hmm?
Should I just say chocolate and move on?
Ha ha, tempting. But no, remember, it's about self-awareness and growth. Pick a real weakness, but immediately follow it with how you're improving.
Okay, so like I sometimes struggle with delegating tasks because I want to make sure everything's perfect. But I'm using a task management app now, and it's helping me get better at assigning work and trusting my team.
Perfect. You acknowledge the weakness, but you're showing you're proactive and solutions-oriented.
This is making so much sense. It's not just about having the right answers. It's about showing them who you are as a worker.
Exactly. Ready to move on to those management positions like branch manager? The stakes are even higher here.
Hit me with it. I may not be applying for those roles yet,
Yeah.
but it's good to be prepared. Plus, I'm curious how those questions are different.
One that comes up often is, imagine a conflict between two people you manage. How would you approach them and how would you resolve the situation? This is all about leadership and diplomacy.
Ooh. So it's not just about being the boss. It's about handling people well.
Yeah.
Any pointers?
Emphasize fairness and business impact. Explain that you'd listen to both sides without judging. Gather information. And then aim for a resolution that fixes the root of the problem.
So not making everyone happy, but making the right decision for the team and the company.
You got it. You're showing strategic thinking along with people skills.
Yeah.
That's gold for a manager.
All right, what's another tough one they ask managers?
How about, what would you do with an employee who's underperforming? It's easy to jump to punishment, but great leaders dig deeper.
Yeah. Got to figure out why they're underperforming. Maybe they need more training or support.
Exactly. Start with a conversation. Figure out the root issue. Offer support, document your efforts, and only consider disciplinary action as a last resort.
This reminds me of that time a coworker was struggling. Turns out they just needed someone to explain the new software properly. Simple fix, huge improvement.
See, real-life experience is always helpful. Now, last one for this management section. Tell me about a suggestion you made that was used in a previous landscaping job.
This feels like my chance to show some initiative.
It is, but choose wisely. Pick an example that shows your problem-solving skills and understanding of the industry. Explain the situation, your suggestion, how it was implemented, and the positive results.
So if I suggested a new way to organize tools that save time and improve safety, that'd be a good one.
Perfect example. You're not just following orders, you're looking for ways to improve things. A valuable trait in any employee, but especially in management.
All right, I'm feeling good about those management questions.
Huh.
Now, I know the article also covers questions for account managers. Should we save those for later? Might be getting a bit much for our listeners to take in all at once.
You're right. Let's pace ourselves. Those account manager questions are a whole other animal, focusing on client relationships and business strategy. We'll dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. For now, our listeners have plenty to think about with these crew member and crew leader questions. But before we go, anything else they should keep in mind as they prep?
One more crucial tip. This applies to every role. Remember, the best way to tailor your answers is to really research that specific company you're interviewing with. Their website, social media articles, reviews. Soak it all up.
Oh, right. We talked about that earlier. It's like showing them you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for their job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That level of prep shows dedication and helps you stand out from the crowd. It's like choosing the perfect fertilizer for a specific plant. Makes all the difference.
Love that analogy.
Wow.
All right, listeners, get researching and start practicing those answers. And we'll be back soon to tackle those account manager questions and give you even more expert tips to nail that interview. Okay, so welcome back to our deep dive into those landscape industry interview questions. We just finished with crew member and crew leader questions, gave you the inside scoop on how to really impress. but there's more, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now we're looking at questions that come up no matter what landscaping job you're going for. They're like the core principles,
Yeah.
the stuff interviewers really want to see.
Okay, so like knowing the difference between annuals and perennials, gotta have that knowledge down.
Exactly. Think about the things that make a good landscaper. Accountability, problem solving, real passion. Those are the areas these questions dig into.
Ooh, getting deep. Hit me with some examples.
All right, so remember that question about conflict with the supervisor? It comes up a lot because how you deal with disagreements is so important in this industry.
Yeah, makes sense. Things can get kind of heated on a job site, especially when you're rushing to meet a deadline. We talked about honesty and focusing on resolution. Anything else?
Well, think about what kind of conflict resolution style they might be looking for. Landscaping means making quick decisions, adapting to weather changes, and dealing with unexpected problems.
So they probably want someone who can make decisions but stays calm, not someone who freaks out the first time.
Right. When you talk about how you handle the conflict, highlight those qualities. Make them calmly explain your side of the there and found a compromise that kept the project going.
And maybe even mention how that compromise led to something good, like finishing on time or even under budget.
Now you're thinking strategically. That kind of answer shows you're not just avoiding conflict, you're a problem solver.
Okay, what's another one of those universally important questions?
How about this classic, what is your greatest weakness? Everyone hates this one, but it's a chance to show you're self-aware and committed to growth.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Honesty, but frame it as an area you're working on. But isn't that kind of a generic answer? What if everyone says that?
True, you got to go deeper. Let's say your weakness is time management. Don't just say that. Explain how you're actually tackling it.
So something like, I'm using a time tracking app to see where I'm losing time, and I'm breaking down big tasks into smaller chunks to stay on track. Specifics.
Exactly. And if you can relate it back to landscaping,
Thinking like a landscaper.
you got it. Now here's another one that pops up a lot. Tell me about a time you made a mistake. How did you handle it?
Oh, this one makes me cringe. Nobody wants to talk about messing up in an interview.
I know. But the thing is, everyone makes mistakes. Interviewers want to see how you react to those mistakes. Do you own up to them? Do you learn from them?
Okay, so don't try to hide it. Be upfront and explain how I fixed the situation and what I learned. What kind of mistake should I use as an example, though?
Pick one that shows those key qualities we talked about. Accountability, problem solving, and willingness to learn. Maybe you accidentally damaged something on a client's property?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. A real-life situation landscapers face. And it shows I can handle pressure. So I'd explain how I immediately told someone about the damage, worked with the client to find a solution, and then put new safety measures in place to avoid it happening again.
Exactly. You turned a negative into a positive. Showcase your professionalism and commitment to doing things right.
These universal questions are really making me think. It's not just what you know. It's about who you are as a worker.
You got it, ready for a real challenge. The question that can make or break an interview. Why should we hire you?
Oh yeah, that one feels like a final exam. It's where we sum everything up and convince them we're the best, right?
Exactly. This is where you connect all the dots. Your skills experience and how you fit with their specific needs. Remember all that research you did on the company? Time to use it.
Okay, so I'm not just listing my qualifications. I'm tailoring them to their values, their projects, their culture. It's like showing them I'm already thinking like part of their team.
Exactly. And don't forget to show some passion. Let your excitement for landscaping shine through. It's contagious.
Okay, feeling pumped and ready to tackle this one. Anything else we should cover in this section?
Yeah.
We've gone over a lot of tough questions.
One more, and it's often forgotten. Do you have any questions for us? Seems easy, but a lot of people mess it up.
Yeah, I get it. By
Yeah.
the end of the interview, you're just relieved it's almost over. But I guess asking good questions shows you're interested and curious.
Exactly. It's your chance to interview them. Don't waste it on questions you could easily find on their website.
So instead of asking about benefits or dress code, I should ask something more specific. Like, what are the biggest challenges facing your team right now? Or what are the opportunities for growth in this role?
Now you're thinking strategically. Those questions show you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for a career.
And it lets them talk about themselves, which everyone loves to do.
Right. It makes the interview feel more like a conversation. Remember, it's a two-way street. You're checking them out just like they're checking you out.
This is also helpful. It's like you gave me a cheat sheet for interview questions. Now, I know we still have those account manager questions to get to. Should we do those now or give everyone a minute to process all this?
Let's take a break here. We covered a lot in this section. And those account manager questions are a whole other thing. We'll get to those tricky client-focused and businessy scenarios in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. Listeners, take a moment to think about these universal questions. Think about your own experiences, how you'd approach those tricky situations, and how you can show off your strengths. Remember, practice makes perfect. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our landscape industry interview, deep dive. We've talked about crew members, crew leaders, and all those tricky questions that come up no matter what job you're going for.
But we're not quite done yet. We still have those account manager questions.
Right. Those are for the folks who are aiming for those roles where it's all about clients and like the business side of things.
Exactly. These are for the people who are bringing in those big projects, making sure the clients are happy, maybe even managing budgets, higher stakes.
Yeah. So like picture this. I'm not just out there mowing lawns anymore. I'm the one bringing in the big bucks, making sure clients are happy, maybe even like doing budgets and stuff.
Exactly. And the questions they ask definitely reflect that. They're trying to see how well you communicate, how you solve problems, and if you've got that business sense.
All right, hit me with a classic account manager question. Let's see what we're up against.
Okay, how about this? What qualities and skills make a good account manager? Seems pretty basic, but it's a chance to show you really get what this role is all about.
So it's not just saying things like good communication or organized. You got to go deeper.
Exactly. Think about the things account managers have to deal with. Juggling multiple clients, meeting deadlines, making sure things are profitable.
So maybe I could say a successful account manager is great at building relationships with clients. They listen to what the client needs and offer solutions that go above and beyond.
Now you're not just listing skills, you're painting a picture of someone who's focused on clients and getting results. Remember, these roles are all about bringing in and keeping those important clients.
Okay, what else might they ask?
How about this? Tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer. How did you handle it? This one comes up a lot. They want to see how you resolve conflicts.
Yeah, dealing with a tough client is way different than a grumpy coworker. What's the key to answering this one?
Show them you're professional and that you can turn a bad situation into a good one.
Okay, so let's say a client wasn't happy with a project. I'd explain how I really listened to them, understood their frustration, and worked with them to find a solution we both liked.
Exactly. Maybe you offered them a discount on future services or did something extra to make things right. You're showing them you can handle those tough client moments smoothly and professionally.
All right, how about this one? It seems pretty simple. What do you know about S? Feels like they're just checking if I did my research.
It is, but don't underestimate it. This is where you show them you're genuinely interested and that you took the time to learn about them.
So I shouldn't just repeat what's on their website.
Yeah.
I need to go deeper. Maybe talk about a project they did that impressed me. Or mention their company values and how they match mine.
Exactly. Show them you didn't just skim the surface. You really get what makes their company special. It's like choosing the right plant for the right spot. You got to know the soil, the sunlight.
Love that analogy. It shows you're not just looking for any job. You're interested in their company specifically.
Right. Now here's one that tests your strategic thinking. What would you do to bring in more money for this company?
Whoa. This one's kind of scary. It's like they're asking me to solve their problems right there on the spot.
Don't worry. Take a breath and think about what you've learned in school or from your past jobs.
Okay, so I could talk about offering new services, targeting different customers, or coming up with creative marketing to get new clients. But do I need to have specific ideas?
The more specific, the better. It shows you've really thought about it and you're not just giving generic answers. Maybe you've noticed more people are interested in eco-friendly landscaping.
Ooh, good one. I could suggest they create a special package for those clients, highlighting how they use native plants, organic fertilizers, and ways to save water.
Perfect. You connected a current trend to a potential way to make money. You're showing, the industry and you can think strategically.
All right, I'm actually feeling like I could handle an account manager interview now. Is there anything else they might ask that we haven't talked about yet?
Here's a weird one they sometimes throw at you. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be and why?
Wait, what? A tree. Is this some kind of personality test hidden as a landscaping question?
It might seem strange, but these questions are to see how well you know yourself, how creative you are, and how you think on your feet.
Okay, so I shouldn't just blurt out the first tree that comes to mind. Got to think about the qualities of different trees and how they match my strengths.
Exactly. Maybe you'd say you're a strong and resilient oak tree, like you can handle anything. Or maybe you're a willow tree that grows fast, showing you're adaptable and always learning.
Ooh, I like the willow tree idea. Shows I want to grow in my career. Plus, willow branches are all graceful and flowy, kind of like my landscaping skills.
There you go. You took a weird question and made it a chance to show your personality and strengths. That's how you nail those unexpected interview moments.
This deep dive into landscape interviews has been amazing. We covered so much, from entry-level stuff to those intense account manager questions. What are the most important things you want listeners to remember as they get ready for their interviews?
Research is key. The more you know about the company, the better you can answer their questions and show you're truly interested.
Yeah, it's like finding the right fertilizer for the right plant. You got to know what that company needs to make sure you're the perfect match.
And practice, practice, practice. Say your answers out loud. Think about those tough situations and come up with some good questions to ask them.
And don't forget to chill out and let your love for landscaping shine through. Enthusiasm can make all the difference.
Well said. The landscape industry is full of opportunities to grow, be creative, and do something good for the environment. Go out there, show them what you've got, and find the perfect place to build your career.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into landscape industry interview questions. Hope you found it helpful and are feeling confident.
Yeah.
Remember, you got this. Now go ace those interviews.
Good luck to all you aspiring landscapers out there. We're excited to see what you do.